Hello and welcome to our podcast for the Mega Agent Collective. I am Randy Mendez, along with my co-host and partner in crime, Jessica Hensley. And today we are so excited to be chatting with the dynamic duo out of Arizona who has recently joined our collective, Rebecca and Joy. Welcome, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Well,
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
You're in sync. I love it. So we are excited today to announce officially. It has kind of, been in the works for several months behind the scenes, but it is official. You guys are out of the closet and publicly have moved your own licenses over to EXP. And you've also had a good handful of agents come with you. And so we are just so excited to kind of talk about that journey today and what led you to be there, because previously you guys were highly vested. Beck, you in particular had been with one local brokerage for an entire lifetime. And so we know this wasn't an easy decision for you. And so we just, have no doubt people are wondering, well, what the heck prompted that?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'm glad you teed it up like that too, because I know this conversation for us, probably in addition to a lot of other people, is a tough conversation to have because if you're like Beck and I, we're extremely loyal. We're very committed. We've only had a few careers in our life before real estate because, we're there and we're yours basically, so making those changes are very difficult, but it goes to show you that we quickly realized once we joined forces, and then within a blink of an eye, we had 6 agents who wanted to lock arms with us. We were asked, hey, did you guys run an ad? No, we didn't. This just happened. We weren't even trying. We hadn't even told anybody that we were starting a branch with our old brokerage. So that fast progression, it helped us realize, okay, we need to do something. We need to make a change in order to help not only better our own businesses, but to help them grow as well. Mm-hmm. So this strictly came down to a business decision and the opportunity before us.
I'm curious. So the company you were with before was, I think, more of a mom and pop, like boutique office. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, correct. It was smaller, more boutique-y like, which fit for what I needed for the past 8 years. So
right. And I see a lot of agents out there that are with mom and pop. In fact, I was a boutique broker owner for 3 years as how long I had that open before I realized that's not where I want to be. I wanted to be part of a bigger franchise. So what is the biggest difference that you've seen so far between being an agent with a boutique office versus being an agent with EXP?
For me, I think it's the community. It's leveraging the people that are so much bigger than you. It tends to sometimes get a little overwhelming, but I think overwhelming in a good way. I think this is something that I was looking for and our agents were looking for. It's easy to be in real estate and to just continue with the motions every day that you're doing. And when you have somebody approach you and give you some other options, and you don't have to think about the ideas yourself, that there are hundreds of people that are adding value, that are trying to pour into you, and that are really quickly, I think in a boutique small brokerage, they're more trying to keep everything to themselves. Like, we can't expose anything. Don't let anybody know about this or that. And this is our information. And with such a big platform, they're really quickly to be like, oh, here's my link for you guys to learn about this, or this is what I do. Here's my step-by-step, which those were things that Joy and I had to implement. And it was like, you guys opened the doors and there was like all of this stuff for us that we didn't have to do anymore. And I think that it really is already adding value to our agents as well as us.
Well, and I know that was something that was important to you guys because, something I loved so much about you was that even though you were not highly incentivized and you were not technically the brokers or the official trainees of the agents coming alongside you, you felt a sense of ownership over them and their business. And so something that you guys did was really heavily vet how it would impact them. So how has the journey been for the agents who have come along for you? And are you seeing like confirmation in your decision and excited for all that they're going to be able to tap into?
Oh, most certainly. Yeah. I mean, one of our agents said that they learned more in an hour than they did an entire year before. And that was an hour in the orientation class, like just stepping into the new agent within the brokerage. Because there's no shortage of opportunity to learn more and to gather more information or connect with somebody else that's going to help grow your business. You just have to get out there and apply yourself. You have to be diligent to go in and seek the information. So several of us got into this room together. Okay, you're new to EXP. This is what you need to do. And literally in that 1 hour, one of our agents in particular was just shocked. She was dumbfounded. Like, I can't believe, and it's all right here. I can walk my little avatar in this room, you know, and I can go up to the wall and I've got all these documents that we'd had to search for or whatever. It's right there. You know, and then one of our agents got into a room with the broker during the meeting, and that's when we're learning our avatars, and she bust out dancing, and it was
I was gonna say, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, so my first avatar experience, I had a meeting. So when I came over to EXP, I actually got paid too quick. Like, they dispersed the commission like instantly, and I hadn't even uploaded my split because it was you know, an agent on my team. But anyways, so then we had a meeting in there to like iron it out, so we knew the process. And I was like, all right, well, I mean, this was kind of interesting, this avatar meeting. And then they were like, wait a minute, where are you going? We just like worked out all the kinks. Now we dance. And I was like, wait, what? And
I love it.
Yeah, so then yesterday I onboarded an agent. Who joined us, our collective, and actually joined my team. And we then went to our state meeting together. And so I ended up sitting next to her, and I literally kept getting up and clapping in front of her just to see if I could get her attention. I'm like, I don't know if you can get kicked out of the virtual world, but you know, I might.
It is fun. Yeah, it is fun. We wondered about that because this particular meeting, she and our other agent didn't have a chance to finalize their avatar. So they're both men in the room. And so they walk in there, and then literally everyone's standing in the room, and the broker is talking, and we hear music. And so we quick look over, and we see our agent's name, but she's a man. So we're like, okay, there's going to be a lot of confusion here, but it was the funniest moment.
Just trying to navigate through, but it is fun.
Like, figure it out.
Yeah, you get told what EXP has and what types of things, especially the avatar, and you can't fathom it until you're like a cartoon, but it's very helpful and it is fun. And I think us navigating through it, me being a man and the other one being a man and her dancing, like we have our stories of onboarding.
Yeah. Right. You know, my biggest concern when I came over was that I couldn't get a hold of anybody, and I didn't go into the world for the first full year. Like I kind of like protested it. I was like, I don't need to do that. I'm just going to text them or email or call like I always did. And I would get responses. But what I found was that when I started going to the world, like it was instant. And I didn't realize how accessible my broker is, the compliance. I mean, all of the resources that you're saying. So I love that you're embracing it. Mm-hmm. But I do have a follow-up question. What was your biggest concern when you were considering coming to EXP?
I think it was I had one-on-one accessibility to the broker, and we would be able to talk through scenarios. And, you know, I'll forever give him so much credit for laying out an amazing foundation for me. And I was nervous about how much access am I going to have to these one-on-one individuals. And I too, like you in the beginning, was like, what? I have to walk in here, and she goes, pull a ticket. I'm like, I'm not at a meat counter. Like, really? I pull a ticket? And so I as well called and sent emails, and one would call me back always. And I was able to talk through some different scenarios of things that I struggled with in the beginning. The transition was not the easiest thing, but I feel like that's what's going to make Joy and I better for onboarding people as well. but it was great. They answered all of my questions, and still now I get to walk up, I get to pull a ticket, and they bring me into a room, and there's really no hiccup in that sense.
I think that, Jessica, you said that perfectly, and I was thinking the same thing. I think there are two primary fears that people have, especially coming from a boutique brokerage into something that is much, much larger. Number one, accessibility, and then number two, feeling like they get lost. They get lost in the mix. Like, who do I go to, or how can I lock arms with somebody for support? And so those two things, I think that we can overcome easily, because number one, we're living proof that we went from boutique, that's all she knew, it's all I knew, to there's no shortage of support and help with all the different departments that are out there to answer your questions, to give you resources and point you in the right direction. And then number two, being a part of, a collective, or being a part of something, if you don't want to be a member of a team. So it really, like, who you align with matters, but you have all these like subgroups, these small families within the big family that you can be a part of. And I am thankful that we still feel that sense of community with you guys, and the collective.
Yeah, I love that. I have adapted a new little analogy, which is like EXP. Pillar 1 is EXP. Pillar 2 is EXP Plus, which is all the extras that come with EXP. And something I love is that both of them allow you to kind of create your perfect environment. Within EXP, whether it's workplace, whether it's direct message, whether it's the world, you can communicate with EXP that way. And then EXP Plus, which I say is like the pillar, the sponsors, our collective. We kind of get to exist however we want there. And what's really nice about it, like you said, Joy, is that if an agent does want to be a solo agent, which I want to note that while you guys are sitting here together and you made the move together, you are still solo agents that do your own production. And then you have 6 additional agents who all do their own production. But then you get to be unified in this collective. And that's something that's really powerful. We have another agent in Arizona as well who did join a team. And so it's like, that is something, I don't know about you ladies, but I feel like that was a game changer for me, because when I talked to my agents before, I couldn't be like, okay, well, let's find you a team, or let's, help you to be an individual agent, or do this. Like, you couldn't just ebb and flow with inside one brokerage. People had to actually make brokerage moves. And now that can all happen with inside one brokerage as the seasons change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we want to encourage that type of growth with our agents too. So we're still there as a support. We're still there to answer questions if they have them, because it's comfortable, and it helps all of us actually to learn and to grow together. But we want to encourage them to brand themselves and to maybe even start their own team one day, so that's just our vision.
Yeah. One of the things that we had told our agents when we were letting them know about what it is that we were thinking about was, for them, there was not going to be any missing link here. They were going to get to come with us. They were going to get to have us, which is what they had at the previous brokerage. So for them, I feel like it was a good transition. They still continue to get us, and then as well as they continue to get the EXP community and platform that you guys have to offer as well. Where before there was more steps, they needed to go through us before they got to the brokers. Here, like, you can either, sometimes they feel like, this question's so easy, I don't want to go to you guys. And like, you can go directly to the brokers. It's a direct line now. They can go to 5 different brokers, or they can come to Joy and I. So it's a little more comfortable, I think, for them.
Or they can talk directly to accounting, or they can talk to somebody directly about stocks and, all the other
right, where we were the filter. Joy and I were the ones that were filtering everybody through all these pieces. So it kind of freed us a little bit of some of those.
Yeah. Well, and another thing that I hear, and you guys experience this too, is going from a physical office location to transitioning to this virtual setup where, most realtors work from home now, but they have that comfort and security blanket of their brick and mortar office. So what has been your transition and experience like with that? Is that going to be a hindrance or a help, or, where are you at on that?
And actually, we had just a virtual office. Yeah. So the broker, paid for access to the building, but we didn't have an actual office there. We would gather for meetings and things like that. So this transition feels like it did before. So we didn't have an actual office that we went into. And that's another reason why I love real estate, because I did that for many, many, many years.
I love
you
that.
don't have to get dressed. You don't have to get dressed.
I know. And with the avatar, I mean, you can always just, be ready.
Oh,
to
yeah. You could have curly hair one day. You could have
Right.
long hair. You could have blonde hair.
I just made an investment in a standing desk and a treadmill. So I'm so excited for my home office. The days I don't want to get dressed, I can get.
I was going to do that, but I was worried about my ability to work and walk at the same time.
Well, you can stand.
So I hope I don't butcher her name, but is it Eliza or Eliza?
Right.
So she said that she's so glad that you're talking about this, that she was just talking to Kristen Music about this exact topic, and it's like you're in her head. And so I think that was, her concern was like, who would be there? How would that work? But something you said a second ago, Joy, Beck, I think you said it, but I want to elaborate a little bit more on it, is now your agents can do whatever they want. And so for me, when I was actually a franchise broker at the time. And so I had, we had lots of agents when we were going to be making the move over, and we had an in-house recruiter who was trainer who was on salary. And so I was like, well, how is this going to be for the agents? What's their experience going to be like? And for me, when I saw it, I was like, there's no way I could ever offer my agents more than what this offers them, because whether it's wanting to become mentors, whether it's wanting to specialize in REOs, whether it's wanting to scale a team, whether it's wanting to expand into multiple markets, I mean, the company has it set up. So how has that been, just knowing that now there's limitless potential in front of yourselves as well as your agents?
I think that was something that I did think about. It was no longer just about me as a solo agent. I still am obviously a solo agent. However, we get to within be a team, but that I just had to worry about myself. I was just a solo person fighting alone. And when you have people that are aligning with you, and they are choosing to align with Joy and I, it wasn't the particular brokerage, but it was Joy and I to align with us, that now we had to think about them and what did their growth look like. And we wanted their growth to look quicker, to look different, quicker than 8 years in. So this was good. This EXP laid it out for them so that when they do choose, which we already have an agent that is already starting that. As soon as she came in, we're like not even 2 months in, and she already has brought somebody in because the foundation is already laid for them.
We were just talking about it in a training, because again, in that EXP Pillar Plus, we do trainings, twice a week for our agents. And today it was all focused on the shortcut, right? And I think that was one thing, especially even for me, was I was trying to think, well, proximity, the power in proximity. And that's what you're saying, Beck, is like the fact that they can just come and tap into it, and now they have all these people incentivized in their success that can just give them the playbook, and it's a direct shortcut. So many of us had to fail our way forward for years, and it was just like this long drawn out process. And whether you were a single agent trying to scale or you were a team leader trying to grow, it was like it's kind of like that cycle that's just always going. And now it's like we can just have those shortcuts. So I loved how you explained that.
Yeah. And there, like we said too, there's no shortage of brilliant ideas and access to brilliant ideas and top producers and things like that. And so for us being solo agents, we're trying not to get, overwhelmed or try to feel like we're just maybe not at that level. We're trying to use it as inspiration, if anything. But I do think that for new agents and for people who are considering a switch to EXP, 2 things I would definitely say that you have to apply yourself. Like, you actually have to be disciplined. You have to show up. If you don't have an office, well, you wouldn't have an office in this case. Like we were saying, create a space in your house. Like, I'm redoing my office next week. I'm going to make it a comfortable place where I'm inspired to go and create it and build it like I was in the office back in the day when I had that corporate job, but that's where I'm going to go. It's right around the corner. And I think kind of where we're at as well right now is the implementation. We've got all this stuff. We have all these ideas. We have the framework. We have the infrastructure. You've got all the things. But now we have to start working at the implementation now that we're up and running. So that's where we're at.
It's so exciting, being with EXP, because the possibilities are limitless, as opposed to being an agent at a company that's kind of a more finite structure, it's again, the mom and pop structure, that there's not a lot of room for advancement outside of maybe, opening your own brokerage. Like EXP, there is infinite opportunity with this company, which I love.
It allows you to be a leader without the liability.
Yes.
Right? And I like that idea.
Yes, that's exactly why I gave up being a broker, because I didn't want to be audited. I didn't want to maintain the files. I didn't, all of the, like you said, the liability of it. But, and the other reason is I couldn't keep up with the big names. I couldn't keep up with the technology. I couldn't keep up with the training. Yeah. Our growth is limited by our exposure. Mm-hmm. If you don't even know something's possible, you can't ever aspire or grow to be that. And with EXP, like, we have all of these amazing examples of these leaders and agents that have huge businesses. And maybe that's not what I want my business to look like today, but I see that it's possible, and I see a path to that.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Whatever type of agent you choose to be, there is a lane for you here. Right. So whether you want to be a big team and you want to do all this business, or you just want to be just a regular solo agent and you still want to have your family life, you still want to be a wife, you still want to do all the things that your regular life has to do, there is a lane for you. Like, there is a lane for everybody. You don't just have to be this massive, amazing agent. You can be an agent that's doing
small and amazing.
Yes. You can still be small and amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that that's where the value in sponsors come in, right? And so, like, we're so honored to be your sponsors, and that's where, the sponsors can be really good connectors and just kind of help you to say, like, hey, here is where this is. And in fact, recently, I hope you guys saw the announcement, because again, that Pillar Plus, that the community that we're creating within, the sponsors in our upline, we do have that mastermind call that we do that is so, like you said, Joy, so filled with ideas. And it's like, you could, every single day, you could go and make a list a mile long, and you could be this huge dreamer and, go after the biggest. But then what I love about EXP, from the staff, the brokers, everybody that works for the company, all the way through to the sponsors and the mentors, is the continual thought process of how do we do it better, and how do we serve are we serving everyone? And so I recently, they announced that they're launching our solo agent mastermind, because they wanted something that was, a little simpler for that solo agent that was not looking to have this high level, huge business, but was looking for a steady, consistent, smaller business. So did you guys see that announcement?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I was like, yay, there's something for us.
I know. Yes.
Yeah, so it just keeps getting better, but I absolutely love that. And, yesterday I stumbled upon it, and I'm just going to be honest, I'm years in, and I think that if there, let's be honest, like, there's downfalls, and a downfall to EXP is that you have these two massive pillars, EXP and EXP Plus, that are both every single day innovating, self-reflecting, and delivering more value. And so sometimes keeping up with, like, everything that's happening is a hard thing to do. And yesterday I stumbled on a call for leaders, and it was really cool, because it's something I will say that I always like to do, and I see this in you ladies so much, like, I know this is who you are, but then this is why you fit in this culture so well, is I stumbled on this leadership call, and he was talking about not being a taker. And he was talking about making sure you're a giver. And he's like, if you're showing up to this mastermind and you don't feel like you're getting enough, I would challenge your thought process about why you're showing up. Maybe you should show up and give more. And, I just thought it was really cool for a company sanctioned mastermind, which is to grow you further as a leader, to be just challenging your thought process on why you're showing up and what you're giving. And I just have to say that when, I think of that, and I think of a company that wants to embody the giver's mentality and the doer's mentality, I just think of you ladies, because I know that that's exactly who you are. So I'm excited about that culture, and you guys coming into it. I think you're going to be a great fit.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know.
Yeah. No, we're so excited. We're very grateful. I mean, yeah, just with both of us, we had similar backgrounds. I mean, a couple careers ago, but you know, in the nonprofit sector and, you know, in the corporate world, serving people who made big decisions, you know, holding their hand and walking them through, hey, this is tough. Like, you're spending a lot of money. You guys are I did weddings and big events and things like that. You help people to fundraise for very worthy causes here in the Phoenix Valley
and events
and things like that. Yeah. So we were very tactical in how we would structure things and logistics and all of that. And then helping people, hey, we're going to get you through this. And we're going to make sure that we all come out on the other side successful, no matter what happens. You're going to stumble. You're going to have issues. You're going to be, you know, in the back of the banquet hall trying to figure out the cake because something happened and part of it fell over. And I mean, there's going to be some catastrophe, but it's how you pick up the pieces, essentially. You know, my husband always says life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it or how you handle it. And there's so much truth to that. So
Kyle's such a smart guy. He's such a smart guy.
He keeps me grounded. He's level all the time. He's like our therapist.
He keeps you grounded and keeps you fed. Him and Ramon, like, we got to get them somewhere where they can just cook together.
Oh, please. Yes. Oh, that would be a feast. We'll have everyone over at the house. Come to Arizona.
So not to put you on the spot, but we are excited because one of the things that you guys said yes to, and I have to say that poor Joy and Beck, I kind of feel like they almost blindly said yes, like, okay, but you said yes to being collective leaders. And really what we're looking to do is EXP as a company is just, it's got everything that you need: training, it's got support, it's got all of that. And as groups and collectives and, you know, family trees inside of EXP, we're not looking to change our company because our company already has everything we need, but we're just looking to kind of fill the holes. And one of our holes was culture. We wanted a culture and a community that we could feel that connection with, especially when we're working in a virtual model. And so I just want to know, like, what is your, you know, if you could just dream about like the next 6 months, what does that look like for your businesses, your alignment, your production? Like, what does that look like? And I know this is hard for you, especially Joy, because you know, sometimes you don't let yourself dream big because you're like, holy smokes, is that actually possible? But I want you guys to just like kind of really like give yourself the credit that you're due, and then just imagine what do you see the next 6 months looking like?
You go first.
Beck's the dreamer.
I don't know. I don't.
Okay, I'm going to say one thing, which we've discovered this last week. We were eating sushi, and of course, all the good things happen when you're eating sushi. Is we realized that inadvertently we both helped to spur each other on and encourage confidence, which is so crazy to me because obviously I'm apprehensive, like, oh, could we do this? But she's like, you're so confident. I said, I am. And then I said, but I feel like I can conquer the world with you. Like, you're so confident. She's like, no, I'm afraid. I'm like, no, you're not. So we realized last week that we could do anything together because we help each other feel like we can do this. And we have to really look back and reflect on what we've already accomplished over the last year, which is wild, and where we're at, and that we're sitting here with you ladies today. But in the next 6 months, yeah, I could see us on stage acting silly. Being really nervous and really uncomfortable, but adding so much value.
You ladies need to be on stage at our abundance conference in Orlando. You should do this. You could be on our top producer panel.
Oh, that's not me. I could be like pretend.
No,
novice over here.
I think for me, I do see we're different than I think most duos or agents, or I feel like we're fun. I say we're norm, but I'm like, Joy, we're not norm. We can't be norm. Because norm is boring. So we've got to be extraordinary because it puts the extra in ordinary. So
that's
feel
EXP
like,
though. That's part
I
of the
feel
EX.
like
anyway.
I feel like it's a more, and I think continuing to be in our authentic selves, bringing people in that want to be like us, that are just trying to navigate their way through real estate. And I hope that there are people that are listening to us or that are out there that have experienced the same thing that it wasn't a bad breakup that I had. And I hope that I'm able to get to those agents and to say there's something bigger, not that where you're at is not good enough, because it is, but there is something bigger if you're choosing to scale on a different level, as well as, yes, I think bringing value to other agents as well. Maybe us doing something more together, reaching out to agents to bring them value. I think we just want to be helpful to agents, and we just want to answer their questions, and
it's welcoming them home too.
Yeah.
Helping them find a home, helping them find a place where they're going to be able to comfortably grow. And I don't mean comfort in a way that keeps you stagnant at all. I just mean somewhere that we're going to help you, because there's such a deficit. I think you get your license and then what?
Right.
Then what? I mean, unless you join a team, but a lot of people don't aspire to join a team right out the gate. They want to be able to brand themselves. They have big ideas of how they want to create a logo, or they've got their tagline or whatever it is, but that's going to slow down if you are branding somebody else. And so, and again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That works for a lot of people who don't care about that. But for those who do want to jump in and grow quickly, they need to align with someone that's going to help them get to where they need to be. I think you don't know how to do anything when you get out of class.
And it's easy when you're a new agent to start looking on Instagram and seeing these big agents posting all these amazing videos, and they know how to do Canva, and theirs looks so much better than yours. And you can still be, we will teach you. We will teach you how to do those things. You're not going to be alone.
And there are phases to that success. There are phases, so like I said this last time with you ladies a year ago this time, you can't compare your beginning, your middle to somebody else's end or near end, and that's where we have to just, okay, let's get back down, put our head down, and figure out how we want to execute and move forward. So.
Yeah, I agree. I love your heart to lead and your hearts to serve. And I'm so excited because one of the things that I noticed and that I talked to you about, Joy, and I'm so honored that you would even hear the conversation, but was that you were leaders and that you were going to pour into your people, and you already were pouring into them. You just weren't set up to win yourselves, and you weren't set up to scale yourselves. And so it was like you guys were going to only continue to have less bandwidth and it to be harder to support your agents. And you guys looked at a model that would allow you to, and I can see that, like, you guys are, 6 months ago when we were having this conversation, you were trying to kind of figure out like how to be everywhere you needed to be because you were that sole support. And it's the transition, just seeing it inside of you, like the excitement is so present and so visible, because now you're still getting to be those leaders, but now you're, again, not responsible for that whole EXP pillar. You're not responsible for all those broker questions. You're not responsible for all of that. So you just get to be the cherry on the top of your agents' businesses. And you really get to do more of that custom hand holding of, okay, let's make your personalized business plan. And I can see that that has brought you guys to life. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and I will say, and I'm sure I speak for you as well, that when there are other leaders in the marketplace who see somebody and recognize somebody, and they see the potential in somebody and they want to help them grow that and advance that, that's what a true leader is, where there's no insecurity maybe amongst themselves with their own production or their own recognition or whatever. I mean, to truly have a leader that takes you out and wants to help grow you and advance you is amazing. And it doesn't happen very often. So we thank you, ladies, for believing in us and, seeing the potential.
Heck yes, we saw it miles away. I was like, look at that diamond, back in Tahoe, but I love it. And I'm so excited. Okay, let's see. Amber has a comment for you.
Amber.
Who you align with in real estate is everything. Joy's heart will bring her all the success she desires. Yes, I agree. Joy's heart is amazing. And we're so excited to be on this journey with you. So real quick, if somebody's looking for an agent in Arizona, what markets do you ladies serve? Well, I mean, between your agents, I think we've got the whole state covered, but
yeah,
where are you two individually?
I'm on the west side, but we're natives of Phoenix. We're natives. Our parents were born here and we were born here. So we definitely know our areas. We've lived in many different areas ourselves, and
so it's the whole valley.
Yeah,
it's the whole valley. So and I know this doesn't mean a lot to everybody, but I mean, from Queen Creek to Buckeye,
Tonopah,
and everything in between, you know, our whole entire East Valley, West Valley, we will go anywhere.
I love that. I love that. And as far just so that anybody watching out there, if you're like, these are my girls, this is my jam, like I would love to be in line with them. Here's the beautiful thing about EXP is while they sell actively and their production businesses will exist in Arizona, their ability to mentor and lead and sponsor agents is not going to be limited to Arizona. In fact, they will be able to help you no matter what state you are in, and even starting to go globally. We've started launching in like other countries. And so we're planning some leadership retreats. And in the future, I feel like I am so blessed to have these ladies in my corner as event planners, because I feel like we're going to get to plan some amazing events like abroad, which is going to be so cool. And that's just an idea I'm throwing out right now.
Oh yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good. Sign us up.
Yeah,
we're there.
We like doing that.
And so Erica, one of our agents from Kansas City, is saying, I love this. So excited for another person in alignment. And I just love that. I love the community we're building. And I just want to wrap up by saying we are so honored to have you ladies in our group. Yes. And we know today EXP is that much stronger. EXP is offering so much to your business, but EXP just became that much stronger by you ladies joining.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We feel
Thank
like
you, ladies.
Same way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.